तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो गौरांगी राधे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our Sunday classes. Very happy to see all of you. And we have been discussing on the important verses of Bhagavad Gita and thereby learning some good lessons out of it. I'm sure some of the lessons you do remember. So I'm giving you a task that when I end my lecture today, I would like to hear from all of you anything that you remember till now. Any good lesson, any one or two good lessons that you remember or that you liked or you thought that it's a good lesson for the life. So I'm not asking you right now, giving you some time so that you can think while you hear today's discussion. So I remember the same Gita's and verses. Today we are going to discuss a very important verse which says, or rather which explains about how meditating on something, how it can lead to destruction. So that's a very important verse which we are going to discuss today. Let's chant the verse first, and then we will start the discussion on this. So this is the verse. This is verse number 2, and verse number 2, and chapter number 2, and shloka number 62. So we are going to discuss on this today. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते. We will also take one more shloka, verse, the next one, because both of them are connected. So let me chant that also, and then we will discuss on the translation. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhranshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. Now, these two verses, the translation is, while contemplating the objects of senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises. The next translation, from anger, complete delusion arises. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. I will just recite the verses again. Dhyayato vishayan pumsah Sangaste Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bhijayate Krodhat Bhavati Vibhramaha Smriti Bhrinshad Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So these are the verses which Krishna is speaking in these in this section of the last section of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is actually very attentively hearing. Now, this verse, why Krishna is speaking these two verses? Because there was a question by Arjuna that I see there are very sincere people, seemingly pure at heart, or um, rather, I should mention good people doing good activities. But Arjuna's question was, why do such people also commit mistakes, fall down, uh, commit sinful activities? So so Krishna is replying with a perfect psychological map. He's not giving just theory, but he's giving the observation that how a person commits mistake, how a person starts behaving on a very low level. Because um, we see the person is very sincere, but then after some time we see the person is not behaving nicely, or he's not on the level of even human beings. Now, when we talk of human beings, what is the difference between human and animals? Humans have certain standards. Humans follow certain rules and regulations. Humans do not just um, behave impulsively, just that whatever comes to mind, do it. There are certain set of rules and regulations that we follow. But then sometimes we see that people don't behave even humanly, whether it is in their external behavior, whether it is in their intentions, whether it is in their speech, how they speak to people, how they react to people's speech, how they behave with their friends, how they behave with relatives, how they behave without. Sometimes it is observed that this behavior is not correct. So Arjuna's question was, why? When a sincere person, what happens? Why he behaves in such a way? So Krishna is telling him that please understand, you don't fall suddenly, you glide gradually. And that gradual um, system of fall down, I should say, or sliding down gradually is being explained in these two verses, where Krishna says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangaste Shupajayate. Now, what is he saying in these verses? He's mentioning about 7 stages. What are the stages? The first is the contemplation, the thinking, the thought process. He's talking about that, where everything begins. Please understand this verse, wonderful verse of Bhagavad Gita. This is a very, very practical verse. We read Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangaste Shupajayate. We don't understand a word, and then we think, forget it. This is not for me. And then you go on to read the translation. It further puts you in confusion whether you should continue or you just forget about it, because it's speaking about bewilderment, it's speaking about attachment, and then lust, anger. These are not the words which we hear in our day-to-day conversations. So then we think that it's not for me. but it is very much for us. Let's try to understand. What is Krishna speaking in this? Krishna is speaking in this about the thought process. Krishna is speaking in this about what we are attached to. Krishna is speaking in this about intense desires. Krishna is speaking about this in this is the effect of anger. Krishna is speaking in this when you are confused about the purpose of life, when you're confused about what to do, what not to do. Krishna is speaking about memory, and he's speaking about destruction, what the thought can bring, your thinking, your meditation can bring. So seven step chain he is mentioning, starting from contemplation, starting from your thought process, then how you get attached to that particular object, second stage. Then the third, you develop an intense desire. The fourth, if you're not able to get it, you're frustrated and the anger comes. Fifth, by that you go into a stage of confusion, and then you're not able to remember what was told to you in the beginning, or what did you read, or what is right or what is wrong. And then because of that, you commit certain activities which lead to destruction. Now let me explain you in a very simple way how it works. Say, for example, you're a very good person. I mean by good person, your behavior is very good. Your intentions are very good. You have no desire to hurt people. But then you also see that sometimes people get disturbed. People feel you're not behaving the way you should behave, and you don't realize it. Or take the example of someone else. You were relating, you had some relationship with a person in terms of a friend, or as a business partner, or as some other relationship. Person was very good initially when we started the relationship, and then we see slowly the problem starts arising. You start feeling that his behavior is not good, his intentions are not good, his speech is not good, he's very harsh. So then what happens is, when you start observing all these things, you get confused. How should I behave with this person? Should I continue my relationship? How should I deal? And then slowly, those bad quality starts affecting you also. You also start thinking ill about him. You start thinking that, I should do something because this person is on my case. Let me do something. This is what whole thing Krishna is speaking about, how we should be away from such destructive mentality. So Krishna first speaks about uh, let's step by step how Krishna is going. So first thing he says is your thinking, your thought process, your contemplation, your meditation. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa. So what has happened to that person who was very good, who had everything nice, and suddenly we see a change in his behavior. So how it all started? It started with contemplation, thinking. That means in our mind we keep getting lot of things, we feed lot of things, and we do not know which thought will suddenly start taking dominance. It becomes very dominant, and we start thinking about it. Say, for example, somebody did wrong to you. Instead of thinking, it's okay, I don't have to go on the wrong side. When you keep thinking, this person has done wrong, this person has done wrong, this person has done wrong, I'm also supposed to take revenge. I'm also supposed to reply to him aptly. I'm also supposed to show him. So what happens? Dhyayatu, your meditation is only his wrong side. And because your meditation is on the wrong side, you're repeatedly thinking about it. Rather, in your mind, you're rehearsing it, what you're going to do. although you don't realize it. Because mind says, I'm not doing it, I'm just thinking. But the thinking is also very strong because mind practices before the body performs. So if it is there in the mind, it will come to your action. So, like say for example, uh, you right now we have social medias and so many things. So you keep scrolling down, you keep fantasizing thing, you watch so many things and think it's okay, doesn't bother, doesn't affect me. It is. Everything is going inside, and one or two thoughts may become very prominent. Hmm. So that's why we have to control our thought process and cultivate positive thoughts. Many times we get negative thoughts in our mind, right? We become fearful, anger. Anger is also kind of a negative thought, or fear, or anxiety. So that we should learn how, because this is the first step, thought process, dhyato. It is very important that we should know how to cultivate positive thoughts or how to control thoughts. First of all, we should understand thoughts cannot be stopped, only redirected. If there will be people, and nowadays it has become very, very common because um, people want to take advantage of your situation. You are in stress, and somebody comes, here is the solution. What is the solution? I will make your mind completely blank. And you feel it is such nice thing. I'm so much bombarded with these negative thoughts. Let me make it blank completely. So then he says, okay, do this thing, this meditation, your mind will become. It doesn't work. Temporarily, for some time, yes, you may feel nice. I remember some time back, I was in touch with a devotee. Now, this devotee was going through very bad phase, and I I was trying to, you know, counsel. Okay, no, don't worry, things will be all right, and really bad phase of the life. Suddenly, for a few days, he stopped calling me, and I thought, okay, maybe. So after a few days, when there was otherwise, every second day there was call, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, please help me. And then one day I called him, I said, what happened? I haven't heard from you. He said, I found a solution and I'm very happy with that. And I was very happy to hear that. And I said, wow, I'm so happy. Please tell me, what solution did you find? And he said, I read a book, uh, Law of Attraction, something like that. And he said, I read a book about that and now I'm very happy. I said, okay. I said, I feel so happy that you've overcome all that, but what does it say? He said, okay, if you think you can do it, you can do it. And there are so many things I read and I'm okay. I said, wow. So your problem has gone away? Absolutely. Very nice. I was very happy. But after a few days again, got a call. Sorry, it is not working. Because superficially just thinking that okay, I'm all right, my everything is gone, doesn't work. You have to think, but you have to think the right way. So uh, we need to understand that thoughts cannot be changed. What can be changed is only the direction. So Krishna says, when Arjuna said in Bhagavad Gita, the mind is very, very turbulent, obstinate. I cannot control. Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chigruhyate. Follow certain rules and regulations. Do something, stop something, mind will be controlled. So control doesn't come by suppression. Control come by conscious redirection. Our mind, it is like a river. You cannot stop it, but you can channelize it. Okay, give it away. So that's the first thing. If you want to have control thoughts and cultivate positive thoughts, so first understand you cannot stop, only redirect to a right direction. Second, you have to catch your thoughts early before they grow. Like when you're getting some thoughts, first appearance of a thought, you don't have to wait till those emotions grow or something. Early thoughts are easy to change. Late thoughts demand struggle. So, so identify, be aware. And then we need to learn to replace, not to resist. You have some negative thoughts, you are resisting it. I don't want it. I don't want it. It won't happen. You replace it. How? You have negative thoughts in the form of fear. Then how do you replace it? How do you come out of it? Very simple way. Convince your mind that Krishna is in control. Hmm. That's a very easy way of doing it. So when you convince your mind that Krishna is in control, all the fear slowly will go away from your mind. So that's one way, one very powerful way to do it. Okay, am I audible to all of you? Because I'm not able to see any of the videos here. So I do not know. Can somebody write in the chat box if you are able to hear me or if there is a problem? Okay, yes, you can hear. Thank you. Maybe the internet is weak because I'm not able to see any of you here. But anyway, since you're able to hear, I'll continue. So yes, fear. If you have fear, why is the fear? Because fear is because you don't understand that Krishna is in control. In spiritual life, fear has to be given up by taking shelter of Krishna, by understanding that everything is controlled by Him. If I cannot do anything, why should I be fearful? Let me take shelter. That is, if you have fear, then you should always think that Krishna is in control. You have anger in your mind. Anger can be controlled by tolerance and prayer. You have anxiety. You can control it by being grateful. So, um, we have to replace. We don't have to resist. And very important thing for controlling the mind is use the tongue. Ah, you'll think, what is this? Ah, how can you say that you want to control the mind and you have to do it through tongue? Yes, even mukhe jivado. Scriptures are so perfect. They identify every disease you have. They identify every problem you have, and they have given the solution. So these thoughts have to be changed. So how to change? Tongue. Use the tongue to control the mind. Tongue has two functions. One to speak, other to eat. You cannot speak if your tongue is there. You cannot eat, taste. So tongue has two functions. So use the speaking power in the form of chanting the holy name. Every day, without fail, chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when thoughts are attacking, you can be loud. You know? Your japa can be loud. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. You'll see the thoughts will go up. And then the second function is eating. Very powerful way of controlling mind is eat only Krishna prasadam. Don't be a vegetarian, don't be a non-vegetarian. Be prasaditarian. Offer it to Krishna and then have it with the... What is prasad? It is the sanctified food full with mercy of Krishna. So we need to do it through the tongue. And of course, you have to feed the mind with positive thoughts. Very important. As I said, what you're feeding inside, those kind of thought processes will go on. So feed the mind with positive inputs, right? Like like Bhagavad Gita, like Krishna Katha, like Kirtan, like association. Reduce negative inputs, excessive media, gossiping, complaining environment, because you cannot, don't expect your thoughts to be pure when you are feeding impurity. And very important thing to have positive thoughts is don't keep the mind idle. Always be engaged in positive things. You can practice some service, like take up some project where you can help others, some service to Krishna, some creativity. You have some powers, you have some ability, use it for Krishna. Be always engaged. That will be very, very helpful. And at the same time, you should accept that it is a gradual process. And for that, pray to Krishna. Grace is very essential. We should pray very sincerely to Krishna. What should be our prayer? If you want positive thoughts, the prayer should be, "Oh Krishna, please, please come into my mind and occupy my mind." Offer Krishna free space without rent. Or just not rent, just tell him, "Please come and take over. I'm fed up. Please occupy my mind." Because when you put efforts, please hear it carefully. Efforts invite mercy, and mercy perfects efforts. So if you want your efforts to be perfect, you need mercy. And if you need mercy, you have to put effort to invite mercy. So effort invites mercy, and mercy perfects effort. So you should pray to Krishna. And analysis is important before you sleep in the night. Ask yourself, what thoughts dominated today? What triggered them? How did I respond? This review is very important. So, positive thoughts are not artificial affirmations. Okay, you can do it, and this has happened, and that has happened, and so many things. No, they are not artificial affirmations. They are natural byproducts of devotional service, Krishna consciousness. So you cannot empty the mind as we begin, but you can fill it up with Krishna. So, dhyayato vishayan pumsam. Now, let's take a different view of dhyayato vishayan pumsa. It is said here, we just read, that if you meditate on something, you get attached, and because of that attachment, dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangastishu pradayate, then you develop lust, and because of the lust, kama, you come into anger and all those things. Now, just think that if your thoughts are towards Krishna, dhyayato vishayan pumsa. Dhyayato Krishnan Pumsa. If you're meditating, if you're thinking all the time about Krishna, what will happen? You'll develop an attachment to Krishna. And that attachment will bring such happiness which we cannot imagine. So the second step is, after the thought process have been made positive, then the attachment. Attachment is what? Attachment is desire, or I should say, attachment is nothing but when the desire wear the emotional clothing. Attachment is binding. I like this. I start becoming dependent on them. You see, many times we have attached to some person, and then instead of having the happiness, we start becoming dependent on that person completely. Isn't it? So that dependence is not good. We should be dependent on Krishna. because nobody is perfect in this world except Krishna. So that's why thought process needs to be changed. So attachment will be changed. And then if you are attached to something, it turns into the desire. When it is too intense, it turns into lust. What is lust? Lust is not just some attraction between man and woman. Lust is anything, any desire which becomes too intense, or you get obsessed by that. It's uncontrolled desire. So don't, usually lust word is used for attraction or sexuality, etc. But lust is not just sexuality, it is uncontrolled desire. Any desire where you're obsessed with that, maybe by money, power, prestige, anything, where you lose your discrimination power. You just want it. That's all. That is called lust. I want money by hook or crook. This is lust. I want that person by hook or crook. This is lust. I want power, position by hook or crook. Let me do anything, but I want that. I don't care whether it is right or wrong. Please understand, in our life, if we go this way, that, we just want it, we don't care how we get it, that's not very good. It's going to bring a lot of reaction. And when it comes, you'll not be able to tolerate. I have met people in my so many years of Krishna consciousness. I have seen so many people. Materially, they have everything. Money is there, social circle is there. But when you go inside, when you see their lives, it's just emptiness, nothing else. They're suffering. May not be disease, but they're suffering with so many things. Broken relationships, isolation, nobody to speak to, suffering in a way which you cannot speak to others. So many things are going on. So, kama, lust, is where you lose your discrimination. We should not be living like that. Because if you do that, the next step comes is growth, anger. Anger arises when desires are blocked. You want it to be something, you could not get it. Expectations are frustrated. Then anger comes. So we have to be very, very careful when we are dealing with anger, because anger is experienced when our expectancy is not met or when we are frustrated. So you can show anger on a physical level, you can show anger on a mental level, you can show anger on a spiritual level. So how do you control anger? On a physical level, you're very angry, just don't talk. Keep quiet for some time. Maybe you can drink a little water or something. Slow down your breathing process, because you must have experienced when you're angry, the breathing starts becoming heavier, or you start breathing very fast. Slow it down. And to control anger on a physical level, very important what you eat. Now, if you are getting angry at small, small things and you're not able to control, please see what you are eating. So you have to abstain from stimulating foods like meat, etc. We don't realize that. We think, oh, what's the harm? No, it's a stimulating food. So we have to be very careful on a physical level. On a mental level, if you are very angry, sometimes, on a mental level, you're angry and you withdraw yourself. You don't speak to anyone, but inside you're burning like fire. So how you can control that? Just relax. You have to remove the negative thought. Focus on positive things. Talk less. Because when you're mentally agitated and you talk, then obviously it will turn out to be anger. And on a spiritual level, we should discuss more of spiritual topics with saintly personalities. Hearing really helps us to control our thoughts, to come out of anger, etc. And then Krishna says it leads to sammoha. Sammoha means Delusion. Delusion means wrong becomes right, right becomes wrong, sin becomes justified. We create philosophy to support our desires. Like, for example, man and woman wanted to enjoy, so they came up with a philosophy of live-in arrangement, right? And people say it's fine. What's the problem? Okay, no problem. Why don't you get married? No, we don't want to because we don't want to take responsibility. So wrong becomes right, sin becomes justified, and you have your own philosophy to support your desire that it's okay, it's my life. Then it's your life, then you'll suffer, then don't ask questions, then don't blame the Lord. So that's delusion. So please, who will decide what is wrong or what is right? In my life, I feel this is right and I will do it. In your life, you feel that is right, please do it. I'm not stopping you. So who's going to decide right and wrong for me? It's me. No, because you're not in knowledge. If you are in knowledge, then you can decide. Arjuna wanted to decide, fighting is not good for me. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to kill my relatives just for the piece of land. Seemingly such nice thoughts. Krishna says, no, you have to fight. So then it's like, how do you know Krishna? It's my life. Arjuna didn't say that. Krishna, it's my life. You don't tell me what I have to do. I know what I have to do. No, the whole first chapter up to the second chapter, the seventh verse, is whole our life where we think that I know what I should do. Don't tell me anything. I am the master of my life. And finally, you get frustrated because you are not able to control your life. You think you are the controller, but you are not able to. And then what happens? Karpanya doshopahta subha. You surrender to Krishna and let Him decide what is good, what is bad for us. So it is the scripture, it is the words of Krishna, it is Krishna Himself who will decide for me what is right and what is wrong. Because I don't have that power. Why I don't have the power? Because of lust, because of illusion, because of attachment, because of meditating on wrong object. I have lost the power. So let Krishna decide. Because otherwise, it will go to the next stage, Smriti Vibhrama, losing of memory. We'll forget the right things. We'll forget Krishna. We'll forget the consequences of what I'm doing. We'll forget everything. Memory loss here means loss of values. And you see so many people in the world, they don't live by values. People don't even keep their words. And it was not true 50 years ago, 100 years ago. People, if they say anything, that was enough. There was no need to do agreement. There was no need to write anything. There was no need to go to the court. Just the word was enough. We see this in the Srimad Bhagavatam when Krishna's parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, they got married. And Vasudeva was taking Devaki, just got married. He's going back after the marriage. And suddenly Kamsa, who is brother of Devaki, he hears that Devaki's eighth child will kill you. And Kansa is ready to kill Devaki. He takes out his sword. He said, I will kill Devaki. There won't be any eighth child and I will not be killed. And how was Devaki saved? Not by philosophy. Although Vasudeva tried telling him philosophy, Kiyo Kansa, we are all souls. We all suffer here, this, that, everything. Kamsa was not ready to hear anything. So what changed his mind? Why did he stop? Words of Vasudeva. He knew that Vasudeva never lies. That was the power. If Vasudeva said, I will bring my children to you, he said, okay, go. I believe you. That kind of character is needed. We don't have that. We have lost all the values. We don't trust each other. The first thing, if a person says something, the mind goes in a negative way. Is he going to create a problem for me? Why is he being so good? The problem is that if you be so good to the person starts doubting, why is he being so good to me? Loss of values. And ultimately, complete fall down. Fall down means miserable condition. Everything is there, but we are not happy. So this verse speaks a lot. The first lesson it gives is that thought control is victory. You don't need to fight lust. You just have to replace your thoughts with chanting, with Krishna Katha, with positive things. So thought control is victory. First lesson. If you can control your thoughts, you're victorious. Because that's the first stage. If you stop it at the first stage only, avoid the first stage, break the chain, that's all. You are victorious. Second is memory is your shield. You should not go to the stage of memory loss. What memory? You should always remember good instructions. You should always remember Krishna's presence. You should always remember the consequences. I am trying to do this. This is something wrong. What will be the consequences of this? You should be doing that. Memory is our shield. So how to improve that memory? How to always remember instructions? How to always remember the consequences? Daily reading is a must. Daily reading protects memory. So I request all of you that if you have Bhagavad Gita with you, if you do not have, please tell me, I will send you. But if you have, then please read at least one page every day, whenever you get time throughout your busy schedule. It will protect your memory. And very important message which we learn from this verse is anger is like a red flag. So we have to be very, very careful with the anger. And that is why we perform spiritual life, bhakti. It is a preventive medicine. These verses are teaching us that you should daily check, where is my mind going? What habits I'm cultivating? Am I doing some damage or I'm trying to prevent the damage? So always be engaged, because idle time is very, very dangerous. Most contemplation begins when you are free, when you're not utilizing your time properly. So if you have some time gaps in between, fill it up. Maybe with chanting, maybe with some kirtan, maybe with some service. Keep constructive engagements ready for you. Empty time invites unwanted thoughts. And we have examples of it. Bharat Maharaj, soul, but he got attached to a deer. Getting attached to a deer is not a problem, but neglecting spiritual life was a problem for him. So we need to go for the prevention formula, that we don't go in this way. So first formula I had told you, that instead of thinking a lot about this world, lot about negative things, lot about miseries, think about Krishna a lot. You'll develop attachment to Krishna, and by that, all other good things will come. The other method is ACT method, ACT, ACT method, which you should follow, prevention method. ACT means A is avoid contemplation. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. Do not think too much about those objects which are practically negative, which are troubling us. So ACT method means avoid contemplation. That is very important. Second, C. So we have ACT, ACT. C is chant sincerely. because by chanting, you're giving power to your mind. Discriminatory power will come. The power to say no will come. Many a times we come into the problem because we don't have the power to say no. Anyone comes and says, okay, we have to do, yes. Can you do this? Yes. We don't have the power to say no because we feel that the person will be disturbed. I don't want to disturb others. So I don't want to say no. And then I suffer. So chanting gives you the power to say no at the right time, to accept certain things at the right time. So avoid contemplation, chant sincerely, and T is take shelter of devotees. Devotees, they have nothing to gain from you. Devotees, they work for Krishna. They serve the society. And they have nothing to gain from you. They don't have an hidden agenda that, okay, I'm talking to this person so that I should get this. Yes, they have some hidden agenda. Let me tell you, secret. What is the hidden agenda? Let me bring this person closer to Krishna. He will always be happy. That's all. So they talk, they inspire, they guide. Everything is done with a very clear direction or motive or purpose in mind. I don't want anything from this person, but I want this person to be closer to Krishna so that he or she can be eternally happy. That's all. What else a devotee can expect? So that's why ACT, ACT, avoid contemplation, chant sincerely, and take shelter of devotees. If you remember Krishna, the chain will never start. The chain starting from dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangaste shupajayate, etc. So Krishna in these verses is warning a siren. He's not saying you are bad. He's saying be careful. Because gradually you may fall down to a situation where it may not be very good for you. So we are ready to remember Krishna. If you don't remember Krishna, the mind will remember Maya. So mind will remember all the wrong things. It will run towards that. Bring Krishna. Krishna is not just a name. Krishna is power. Krishna is mercy. Krishna is positive thoughts. When you have Krishna, you cannot have negative thoughts. When you have Krishna, you cannot be weak. You're very powerful. Person physically may be very weak, but becomes very powerful. Srila Prabhupada at the age of 70 goes to America. What power could he? He was not a very big bodybuilder or something like that. But he changed the lives of millions of people because he carried Krishna in his heart. So when you have Krishna, there is no negativity. When you have Krishna, there is power. Power needed for you to perfect your life and to help others. And when there is Krishna, everything is so good. So try to bring Krishna in your mind. Try to remove all the negative thoughts from your mind. Go for the positive thoughts. Work for it. Take guidance. Somehow replace the negative thoughts, whether fear, whether anxiety, whether anger, etc. And if you have to develop attachment, develop it to Krishna and his devotees. Bhagavatam says that if you are attached to a devotee of the Lord, that is perfection of life. You will be liberated. But if you are attached to any other thing, you'll always be caught. You'll always be pulled back. You will not be able to progress. So bring positive thoughts. Be attached to devotees. Develop that desire to serve others, to serve Krishna. And you will see that there won't be any frustration in that, which will lead to clarity, not confusion. And when you have the clarity and when you remember the consequences, when you remember Krishna, when you remember your relationship with Krishna, perfection will come in life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I didn't realize it's almost an hour that I was continuously speaking. Okay. Any questions or comments? Any of you want to say? I was seeing something in the chat box. Let me see. Okay, there's no questions here. So what I'm doing is I'm changing the setting now for this. Any of you who wish to unmute and ask question, you will be able to once I change the setting, and now I have changed the settings. So any of you wish to ask question, you may unmute yourself. Unfortunately, maybe because of the internet or something else, I'm not able to see any of you. Everything is just black, dark, blank. So that's why either you can write on the chat box or you can unmute. But thank you very much for your encouragement. I'm seeing a lot of messages here that you are able to relate to what I say. Thank you very much. The question is, if I'm attached to a devotee, my husband, will I be liberated still? Thank you very much. That's a wonderful question. If you are attached to your husband as a devotee, not because he's your husband. Okay, he's your husband, that's very nice. But your attachment is because he's a devotee. He's following the principles. He's on the path to Krishna. He's helping me develop my devotion. Why not? If you're attached to such a person who's helping you to develop devotional qualities, who's helping you in your devotional life, and you see all the devotional qualities in him, you're not attached because he's your husband, but you're attached because he's a nice devotee, that definitely will liberate you. Thank you. It's a very nice question, because sometimes we may think that, okay, he's my husband, I'm not supposed to be attached. No, if he's a devotee, why not? There is a story, okay, let me tell you. If you, how many of you, I don't know, have you heard about Pandharpur? Lord Vitthal is there, Krishna in the form of Vitthal. So the story goes that there was this young boy, he was serving his father. And he was serving his father, and Krishna came at his doorstep. So he gave a brick to Krishna that, you please stand here. I'm busy. I'm serving my father now. So Krishna stood there waiting for him. That's how he turned into Vitthal. So what is the lesson in that? Am I supposed to be attached to my father, my parents, my husband? What? No, the father was a great devotee. And Krishna accepted. Krishna said, wow, you're serving my devotee, although he's your father, but he's my devotee. So I'll wait for you. That is Krishna. So you'll definitely be liberated. Thank you for asking that question. Any other question? While reciting shlokas, if we don't pronounce the words correctly, is that an offense we are creating? Thank you. Before I answer this question, I would like to encourage all of you to please, please, please recite the shlokas. Try your best. Don't worry about the grammar. Don't worry about the pronunciation. Because Krishna, he's called Bhavagrahi Janardana. There is a very nice verse in the scripture. It says, Murkho vadati Vishnaya, Dhiro vadati Vishnave, Ubhauto samam punyam Bhavagrahi Janardana. This verse says that one person who doesn't know proper pronunciation, so instead of pronouncing Vishnave, he pronounces Vishnaya. Like, most of the mantras, we say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Krishnaya, Janardanaya. So that way. But when it comes to Vishnu, we don't say Vishnaya, we say Vishnave. So the verse says that intelligent person may say Vishnave, a person who's not so intelligent may say Vishnaya. Now his pronunciation is very wrong. I mean, how can you say Vishnaya? It's Vishnave. But the verse, the second line says, Ubhauto samam punyam. Both will get the same benefit. One who's chanting Vishnave, one who's chanting Vishnaya. Why? Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna sees the mood behind your endeavor to chant the verses. It is not how nicely you pronounce. It is not how perfectly you pronounce that pleases Krishna. It is how much effort you're putting to pronounce it correctly. That pleases Krishna. Of course, it doesn't mean we should not pronounce correctly. Because if you love someone, what will you do for that person? If you want to, okay, my question is, if you want to gift something to the person whom you love, then what will you gift? Something very rotten thing, some broken things, some old and dirty things, or some very cheap things. No, if you love the person, you'll give him the best. So we love Krishna. So we try to give him the best. So we try to pronounce the best. But if you cannot, don't worry. Krishna will not take any offense. In fact, he'll be very happy seeing your efforts in pleasing him. Thank you for nice questions. Okay, do we have anything else? How deal with the expectations with devotee who is husband? Okay, how to deal with the expectations of the devotee who's a husband? In two ways. One, whatever on a family level, social level, whatever our expectation from you as a wife for the husband, or whatever the social norms are, those things also should be done. That is also there. But more than that, that is, of course, you will be doing. But more than that, a wife has to see that she helps the husband grow spiritually. And if the husband have too many expectations, which may not be spiritual, if they're spiritual, yes, try to fulfill, come up to the expectations, because that's helping you. But if they're not all spiritual, and if you find that apart from spiritual, the expectations are too many, then slowly, by your good behavior, by discussion, you can uh, come to a level where the spiritual expectations are met more than the other expectations. But yes, as a wife, it is also important, both for husband also, for wife also, that both cooperate, support each other in their efforts to move towards Krishna. That is the main point. Marriage is not done just so that two people can come together, enjoy, and then die one day. Marriage is done so the two souls can come together, help each other, move towards Krishna, and be happy in Krishna consciousness. That is the purpose of marriage. Thank you. So very happy with your questions and your encouragement. We have one more question. This will be the last question because I know I'm delaying all of you. How does one avoid getting to the stage of anger, especially when we see our spouse or family practice does not align with devotional service, even when engaged in Krishna consciousness? Example, chanting while driving, talking and doing other things, and spend time watching TV in free time, eat food, even knowing it, not prasadam when there is a choice of prasadam present, etc. So, how to avoid getting to the stage of anger, especially when we see the family practice does not align with devotional service, even though they are engaged in Krishna consciousness. First of all, we should understand that the mind is carrying the impressions of previous lifetime, a result of the karma, and it takes sometimes a person to become serious. Sometimes it may take lifetimes, sometimes he becomes quite serious quickly. So if we are serious and we see that other family members and they are not very serious, although they are Krishna conscious, they could have done this, eaten prasad, but I think that we should take it in a very, very positive way, that here is a chance for me to preach. I still have to preach. Or second is, maybe my example is not so strong that I'm not able to inspire others, especially my family members. So we should present a good example. We should keep inspiring them, not get frustrated. What is this? And come with the anger. Why you're not doing it? Like, just imagine when you go out and to a new person, when you preach, the person is, when you meet a person and he says, no, or he offers you a drink or something, would you like to drink or would you like to eat this? You don't get angry at that person. You don't start chastising and blasting that person. How dare you tell me I'm a devotee? No, you know that he doesn't realize this. But why we get frustrated? Because we know that they realize it and still they are doing it. So no problem. Keep encouraging. It takes time for some people to become serious, but if we keep providing the environment, if we keep providing them happy Krishna conscious life, definitely they will also become devotees. Thank you. And thank you very much. Grateful to all of you that you're sparing your valuable time and coming for these classes. And not only these, you are coming for daily chanting classes. And not only that, you are also trying your best to complete the Gita course. I'll be very happy when I will be told that, okay, here is a person who has completed all the 30 days. So we'll have a special gift for that person. But kindly do that. That is also whenever you get time in your spare time, it is not necessary every day, but try doing that. It will help you all. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama